I'm ready. You're ready. DJ's ready. We're all ready to flippity dippity. That's right. We are ready to flippity dippity. I mean, maybe DJ's not. I'm trying. I'm still trying to get him to flippity dippity, but he just doesn't want to. And I know we usually do the Welcome to the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is always an Instant Classic. But this show is too big for that. It's almost too big for that. Because Shane O'Mac is back. I still can't believe it. It happened last night, and I am still in disbelief that Shane McMahon is back. So let's just kind of get into. We're not going to review the entire Raw because we don't do that, and there was still a bunch of useless shit on Raw, as usually there always is. But basically, Vince comes out to present the Vince McMahon Legacy of Excellence Award. I know I had joked with DJ that he was gonna give it to himself or Triple H or somebody like that, but he didn't. He didn't. Gotta give him credit for that. He didn't give it to himself or Triple H. I do like how he talked a little bit about his family and his family's history, how they've been in sports entertainment for 100 years, I guess, which was kind of cool. Just kind of him, talking a little bit more kind of real life, a little bit, not so much a character, but he says that this award. Or he actually talks a little bit about his dad first. He says that his dad was a cunning businessman, but he was also, he had a warm heart, and he was caring and everything like that. And he said that the participant or the recipient of the award has those characteristics: a caring, warm heart, and cunning business sense. That's right. It wasn't John Cena. It was not John Cena. It was Stephanie McMahon. First, before we move on, DJ, thoughts on Stephanie McMahon being the recipient of the Vincent J. McMahon award thingy that I can't remember the whole name of it thing.
You should remember the name because
it's long.
It's true. I don't know if you read the spoilers, but I was robbed. They all the votes are in for DJ Beal to be the Vincent J. Kennedy McMahon Legacy of Excellence Award winner. And what happened was, so they was counting the votes, and my votes fell on the floor, and they didn't see it, so they miscounted my votes. So the report says I got like one vote, but I know I got like at least 4, and that was enough to win. It was. I was robbed. I tell you, I was robbed. I didn't deserve this.
But I mean, I had 8 votes for myself. I mean, so how would you win if I had 8 and you had 4?
Because my votes count twice per vote.
That would still only be 8, so it would be a tie.
And then remember they dropped a couple of them on the floor, and they didn't count them, so they missed one because one, like the dog came in and ate it. Apparently, he came in, he took it with him. So I was robbed. I agree.
All right. Anyway, so the winner of the award, the Vincent J. McMahon thingy award thing of excellence and stuff. She came out. Stephanie comes out. She does her horrible fake Stephanie cry. She has probably the worst fake cry I have ever seen in my life. Ever. It is bad. It is bad. But she says, she wasn't expecting to win, but, just in case, she had some prepared remarks. She wasn't expecting to win, though. She just happened to write something down just, in the chance that she would win. She wanted to be ready, but she didn't know. It's not rigged or anything. It's completely fair, even though my votes weren't counted. I'm just saying, I didn't see no vote on WWE.com. I'm just saying, I didn't see nothing, Vince. I didn't see it. But anyway, she goes to start reading her remarks, and before she gets that opening sentence, before she gets that first word, what do we hear? We hear the music of, I don't want to say the late great because he's not dead, but
Here comes the money.
gone but not forgotten.
Got you.
Shane McMahon, which was awesome. I even knew he was coming because I watched Raw a little bit late, so I had seen on Facebook everyone posting, "Oh my God, Shane's back!" So I knew he was coming, but I was still like, "Oh my God!" But he comes out, he does his usual entrance, with the skippy around and the I don't even know what he does, but he still does it. He's like 40 and he still does it, and it's and DJ, did you see the kicks? Did you see the kicks he was rocking? Did you? That man is either a really cool dad or the kind of dad that doesn't realize that he's embarrassing his kids. One of the two. I've decided that. But he comes out. The crowd, huge pop. Just a giant pop. Comes out. We get a clear as day, holy shit chant. They didn't even try to cover it. Like, they didn't even try to cover it, or, freaking Michael Cole didn't try to say, "What are they saying? What are they saying? I don't know what they're saying." We also got "This is awesome" chant. So he comes down, he gets in the ring. Vince goes for a hug, which was kind of funny. Shane just stops him, fixes his tie a little bit. And Vince is like, "All right, I understand. I get it. It's we had a falling out. I get it. Goes for a handshake. Shane kind of, puts his arm down. No, you're not going to get a handshake. So basically, this kind of, it starts what I hope is a good storyline. Basically, Shane kind of, tells Stephanie she doesn't deserve this award. He goes in to explain that, she and Triple H have been basically taking the company and, burying it in the ground with all, he talks about the stocks going down, the ratings going down, all of the plethora of talent injury. And she just tries to deny it, and he mentions that there's something that she apparently doesn't know that Vince hasn't told her, and she's like, what is it? And Vince doesn't want to talk about it. Vince says, this is something that we need to talk about in the back. This is something that we need to talk about in backstage. And Shane says, no, all growing up, you said, if you have something to say, you say it face to face and out in front of the arena. So this is what we're doing. Stephanie eventually ends up going in the backstage. I'm doing a little bit of an abridged version of everything. I didn't want to write like a whole paragraph. But after she leaves, Vince, he finally says, what do you want? How much do you want? I'll write you a check right now. Shane says, this isn't about money. This is about legacy. He says, Vince is third generation. Shane is the fourth generation. And his kids are the fifth generation. And he wants WWE to be around for the fifth generation, the sixth generation, the seventh generation, and so on. So what the hell are you doing?
I was keeping it going.
Oh, okay. I forgot I had the camera on you for a while there. Anyway, it was
10th generation. Did you say the 10th generation?
Like the 10th, the 11th, not the perfect 10th, but the 10th generation. So Vince says, all right, so what do you want? What do you want? What is it that you want, Vin or Shane? Shane says he wants control of Monday Night Raw. Vince says, you don't know what you're talking about. In effect, if you are in control of Raw, you are in control of WWE. And Shane says, exactly. So Vince ends up saying, okay, I'll give you what you want. I'll make a deal with you. I'll give you what you want, but you have to have one match, one night. So obviously Shane agrees. And he says, okay. Vince says, all right, your match is going to be at WrestleMania against, and I'm going to say it exactly like Vince said it, The Undertaker. So we're going to get Shane McMahon versus Undertaker at WrestleMania. Oh, that's not it. That's not all. It's going to be Hell in a... I can't say it like Vince does. Hell in a Cell. I can't do it. I can't. Which, again, WWE somehow ends up taking what is probably going to be a shitty WrestleMania with all the injuries and pulls out an amazing match out of their ass, basically. But any thoughts on this segment in general before we get to talking about the upcoming match and implications and things like that?
Yeah, it was definitely a good segment, a fun segment to watch. I definitely I enjoyed it. The Shane coming out was not as exciting for me because not that I wasn't excited for him coming out, but I had saw the news on WWE app, and I'm like, why can't I be home watching this live? I would have rather been surprised by it rather than get home and have to watch it late and still. I mean, it was still exciting because you're still like, is he really gonna show up? Because I mean, we've talked about this before. Is he really gonna show up? Is he really gonna is he really coming back to WWE? Is it actually a real possibility? And it was cool to see him back though. Love the kicks, by the way. It was cool. It was definitely cool to see him back. Obviously, his voice has gotten deeper. He sounded like a completely different man. He looks different a little bit too. But I like this segment. It was a fun it was one of those segments where you're like, oh Lord, here we go, the same old segment. And then you just got turned up with Shane coming out. I'm wondering what they're gonna do with the match. I don't want to get too much into it because I know we're waiting right now. We're waiting until you give your thoughts and then I come back and give mine. So I'm trying to stay on the segment portion. But it was obviously an exciting moment. The crowd was went nuts for him. I think the match within itself is kind of confusing though because you wouldn't really I get it that would you really see Shane going back into Hell in a Cell after being away from WWE for so long? That's kind of a thing to think about, but
Yeah, it's first of all it was weird how I don't mean this in a negative way, but how old Shane makes Vince look just the fact that Shane is a lot older now, he has gray hair and everything, and I feel like it just made Vince look that much older. I mean, Vince is, in his 70s now, so I mean, he's old anyway, but I just feel like Shane actually kind of reminded me of, Vince back in like the Attitude Era, a little bit. But I'm excited. But it got me thinking about the match. I mean, it's an exciting match for his return, for one more match kind of a thing. They didn't have anybody for Taker really to face, so I mean, I guess it's cool. I just don't know, because Shane is older. We're not gonna get the young Shane. I keep forgetting to switch the mic over, or the camera over. But it's obviously not going to be the same, young Shane that friggin' fell off of the set fell off the Titantron set against Steve Blackman, or I think was chokeslammed off the stage or something with Big Show. I'm sure we'll still get those exciting spots. I'm sure they'll end up getting on top of the Hell in a Cell, and Shane will probably get chokeslammed through it or something like that. So I think it'll be an exciting match, but it's like it brings up kind of more questions, really, I think, than answers. Do they? I mean, obviously, feel like they're gonna have Shane win, and then Shane will get control of Monday Night Raw. But even then, I don't think they really explained that. He didn't. I don't remember Vince saying you have to win to get control of Monday Night Raw. He just said you have to have this match. So does that mean that if Shane loses, he still gets control of Monday Night Raw as long as he goes through with the match? Or does he have to win? Then if he wins, what does that do to Taker? It's just, I feel like it brings up a lot more questions than anything. But I'm excited to see. Hopefully he's on Raw kind of regularly now, up to WrestleMania. Hopefully, it's not just we see him tonight and then, don't see him until WrestleMania. Any thoughts on the match itself? Any predictions? Any thoughts? Anything?
I wonder if they're gonna how they have those little things where they let you run Raw for a week and see how it goes, and then see if you can actually handle it if it was to happen. I wonder if they're gonna do that 1 week or something, because I mean, we've all said that the Authority angle is getting stale, so it would be nice for him to win. My only thing is I'm kind of trying to figure out, is it gonna be Shane in this match, or is he gonna have somebody represent him? Because he said you have to have one more match, but it is like a no DQ match, so he could have change it up and say I'm gonna have Sting represent me, or I don't know. Obviously Sting's had his run-ins with the Authority or Cena. I don't know how hurt Cena is still, or even if they did somebody from NXT, because obviously Undertaker is one of those guys who likes to give back to the company, and the streak is over, so that it wouldn't, depending on who it is, it wouldn't hurt that much for him to lose one more match at WrestleMania. It's not like, he's lost 2 matches, but the other 21 don't count. That's not how it works. But I feel like I'm wondering about that. I'm wondering, is somebody gonna represent him? Also, this was a very well kept secret. This is a very well kept secret too, because I didn't hear any spoilers about it until it happened. I heard it when it happened, when it was happening on Raw, right after it happened on Raw. I saw it on my phone, but I didn't hear any I didn't see any spoilers throughout the week or anything like that. So that was kind of a good thing. Do you want to talk about, since we are kind of talking about Raw too? You want to talk about the Dean Ambrose Brock Lesnar thing at all?
Yeah, a little bit, but I also one thing I didn't like is I felt like after he set up the challenge, we should have gotten like at least the gong or something. Usually after somebody challenges Undertaker or a match for Taker is set up for WrestleMania, you get the gong and the lights go out. Even if he's not there, they should have had the gong or something, maybe a pre-recorded message from Taker or something like that. Just it felt weird a little bit after that segment was over because they just kind of went to commercial. I was like, okay. But Dean Ambrose, I was upset that Roman Reigns won at Fastlane, but obviously, they set up a street fight at WrestleMania, Brock Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose, which I think could be it'll definitely be a good match. I just kind of wanted to see Ambrose go for the title because I feel like they've just been having him hover around the title picture and then they take him away and then they'll have him hover around it again and take him away and then throw him back in the Intercontinental title picture for like a week or two. It's just at least give him a title match. Even if he got the match at Mania and didn't win, at least that would have been like a really big, push for him. But what do you think of the match coming up?
I'm excited. That video, I don't know if you ever got a chance to watch it or when you were watching Raw, you saw it. But like I was talking about how dangerous Brock looks, like just as a guy, and when he gets his blows in and whatnot. Like that video made Brock look ridiculous. Like he looked like he was like gonna kill Dean Ambrose. Actually, at first I was confused on why he did what he did, but then I forgot that Ambrose had took him out with the chair the night before. But I'm excited for it. I know it's gonna be a good match. I'm just wondering, Brock is barely on TV, so it's one of those situations like it. Why would Brock lose? So it's kind of like, is Dean Ambrose gonna like kind of be forced to job out, I guess, to a little bit to Brock just because Brock's part time and he's this big guy and he's the secret ingredient to ratings or whatever. I wonder is that gonna be a thing that's gonna happen? Is he gonna end up having to lose because Brock is just like supposedly the special attraction? That's the words I was looking for. I just couldn't find them to just now. But I wonder. I'm curious to see how it's going to happen, and at least we know we're kind of getting closer to WrestleMania now. That's 3 matches that are kind of confirmed, I guess, or at least we kind of know where they're going with it a little bit. The direction at least. So that's a good thing. At least we kind of know what's going on, a little bit more going into WrestleMania. I don't know. And I don't know if maybe because of the injuries, obviously this is going to be like a really fast build. I don't know if this is going to like continue through WrestleMania or if they're going to like just stop these feeds at WrestleMania. I'm kind of curious about that too. Cause obviously I feel like Brock is gone after Mania, for a little bit at least.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like with Brock and Ambrose, it could be, a big, push and build up for Ambrose. I mean,
yeah, it's no holds barred too. I forgot about that too. It's no holds
mean,
barred, so that's gonna be fun.
I could see him winning at WrestleMania if they build it up right. If they have, I mean, I know, Brock isn't on Raw all the time or SmackDown, but if they have him come every other week or something like that on Raw, and each time he's on Raw or SmackDown, have him beat the hell out of Ambrose and beat the hell out of Ambrose and leave him laying, finally have that build up at WrestleMania where Ambrose finally overcomes Brock Lesnar,
or even I don't know what you think about this, and I don't know if you think that WWE would actually do this, but similar, then it wouldn't like take up like his appearances for WWE or whatever, however that's set up, obviously he could just beat up Dean Ambrose wherever Dean Ambrose is, on Monday night or something like that. Like they could do like this video thing where Dean Ambrose, like, he continues to call him out, but obviously Brock's not there. He kind of hit and run, but obviously Brock doesn't necessarily run. You know, I wonder if they would keep doing that. I don't think they would do it though, because obviously they don't do a lot with that. I don't think they would like have Dean Ambrose chilling out in a bar or something, and then Brock Lesnar comes in and just beats him down. I don't like that would be something they would have did like back early on, like in the early years. It felt like in the Attitude Era, and probably even after that. But now just not so much. But I think that would be cool, because then it's not, we wouldn't necessarily have to have Brock on Raw, but you would kind of be excited to see, or bummed out to see where Dean Ambrose would be getting beat up at, or if Dean Ambrose got even, like if Dean Ambrose, like Brock Lesnar comes after him, he's got like a lead pipe or something and just like kind of cracks him or something.
Yeah, I think that would be cool. I mean, I feel like they don't do anything outside of the arena anymore. Like you barely even see people arriving to the arena anymore. But also one other thing I kind of wanted to talk about was the attack on Roman Reigns at the end of Raw. We saw blood. We saw a lot of blood. Any thoughts on Triple H attacking Roman Reigns?
That was actually a part I didn't see, but I will. I'm obviously going to go back and watch it. I haven't watched Raw yet because I haven't been able to watch Raw yet. All of you guys having me watch all of these No Way Outs and expecting me to watch Raw too. Forget you. But I am gonna go back and watch it. Apparently, it was a pretty, like I've like heard from other wrestling fans around me that it was a pretty good, like I got you back type of a thing with Triple H, and I think it was a nice touch, because obviously Triple H hasn't, like, obviously he took the title from him, but he hasn't gotten that physical, like, let me really get you back. From what I'm hearing though, it was very like cerebral assassin, old school Triple H esque, apparently, and it was cool. Like, and like we've said before, you don't need blood every single place, but like blood is good when in a feud like this. This is a personal feud. It's an aggressive feud. Obviously Reigns has been battling the Authority for so long. And Triple H said, "You made me bleed, so I'm gonna make you bleed." It's not like we're gonna have. I don't think we're gonna have blood at the match at WrestleMania, but still, I feel like, obviously this helps out the feud a lot, because obviously we're not gonna see Triple H on TV a lot. We don't see him a lot, especially as champion now. We don't really see him a whole lot, but when we do, we know something's gonna happen, and I think that's kind of the cool thing that he kind of has about him, as far as like this feud of Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I liked it. It definitely did feel more old school cerebral assassin kind of feel with Triple H. I mean, he came out, wasn't in his typical suit and tie that he is in 90% of the time nowadays. It was just a Triple H T-shirt and jeans, and it had that feeling like, what, this is, this isn't business anymore. This is personal. This is but then I'm wondering, are they going to do anything with The Rock? Is he going to be in Roman's corner, or is he going to be completely out of it? Because they want to just push Roman. They don't want to push Roman with The Rock, with, holding his hand the entire way. I was just wondering about that, just because, I'm pretty sure Rock is going to be at WrestleMania. He usually is at WrestleMania in some, form or fashion, either, being the special host or whatever, or, doing an opening segment or something like that. He's usually there somehow. So I was, wondering if they're going to do something with him and Roman, whether, he's just in Roman's corner, to kind of, make sure everything is fair. But any thoughts on that?
Um, I couldn't remember if I muted myself. I I think that would be good. Yeah, I'm watching this. That's what I was trying to look at. Yeah, he is going ham on Roman. But yeah, I I feel like if they don't want to have The Rock hold Roman Reigns' hand, give Roman Reigns his own character and let him build off of that. Because I feel like Roman Reigns is charismatic enough to deal with his own character to grow grow himself within his own character. But like he still doesn't really have his own character. And I think that's why so many people want a heel turn, because that means that something's got to change. You're still not going to be the big guy from the Shield if you turn heel, and if you do, then that's a waste of time. Why did you turn heel in the first place? um I'm wondering about that. I'm wondering, like, because if they give him his, like, maybe getting beat down like made him realize that, okay, I need to do something. I need, something needs to happen, and maybe he does like come in tune with his own type of a character or something. I'm not sure, because I feel like, it's kind of hard to get the fans behind him, especially with Triple H there, because obviously Triple H is a legend, and you have Triple H beating him down, and people still like Triple H, obviously. But I don't really know what the plan is. I know they're doing something with The Rock. I wonder, is that going to be something with Ronda Rousey too? Because I know they've talked about that. Um, I'm not really sure though. But I did hear, actually, come to think about, I'd heard something about, it was about the Undertaker's opponent. I just thought about it. It was about how the Undertaker's opponent was supposed to. It was like something about he was supposed to not. He was from his past or something like that. So that makes sense now. But I don't know. I'm curious with what they're doing with Roman Reigns though, because I just don't. I don't know. Like, even if he wins the title at Mania, is the crowd going to cheer him? Who knows? I guess maybe we could. There's a chance for a double turn, but I don't know if they would do that either.
Yeah, I feel like this whole WrestleMania is going to be like almost like an underdog theme. I mean, obviously, in Shane's match, he's the huge underdog against Undertaker. I feel like Dean Ambrose is obviously the underdog with Brock Lesnar, and even you could argue that Roman Reigns is the underdog, obviously, for Triple H. And I know we always have the underdog story. For a while there, it was Daniel Bryan, but usually, there's only like really one really underdog match on the card. But I feel like all three of these are kind of, underdog based. It's not really an equal, or at least it's not, booked to be an equal match or seem like it's going to be an equal match in any of them. But I think all of them are definitely going to be good matches either way, whether Roman wins the title and everyone boos, or there's no reaction. I still think it's going to be a good match. Obviously, Dean Ambrose and Brock Lesnar is going to be a good match. Taker and Shane is going to be a good match. I'm just excited for them, and I'm also, wondering what other matches are going to be on the card, what other storylines are going to build up. Because I feel like there's a bunch of storylines they're trying to build up, but I don't know if they're trying to build them up for WrestleMania per se, or if they're just building them up to go through WrestleMania. Like the Divas, there's a couple of different Divas storylines that are going on right now. I mean, obviously, I know we're expecting Charlotte and Sasha, but she still has the storyline with Team Bad right now. So I'm wondering if they're going to end that, how they're going to kind of end that. But any other thoughts about WrestleMania coming up? I know we still have like 6 weeks or whatever, but
Yeah, I don't really know. I'm wondering kind of what else is going to be solidified soon. Um, Especially with like the tag team and Intercontinental and U.S. championships too. What's going to happen with those, because we just don't really know. I know Enzo and Cass have been hanging around the main roster, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to get brought up to the main roster. I don't know. I'm wondering. I'm wondering about that. I just want to see, in the coming weeks, what's going to happen. I'm also wondering, and this is kind of still about WrestleMania, but kind of off note from wrestling in general. But I wonder if they're going to have Mauro Ranallo actually be a part of the commentary team, because I think at Fastlane that was kind of a test to see how people liked it, to see if that was a good thing, and see if maybe they could do it for Mania. So I wonder if they're going to have him commentate, even if it's like the color commentator for Michael Cole, because they like Michael Cole so much. I mean, still, I wouldn't. I mean, it wouldn't hurt. It still just gives it a different feel, especially for Mania. You want Mania to have a different feel, and we've had the same three guys for so long. It wouldn't hurt.
I'm also wondering if they do that, which one are they going to eliminate, or would they, I don't think they'll. I think they should bring it down to just two commentators, because that's how it was for years, and it works fine. I think it works better with two commentators, but I think they're gonna obviously leave it at three. But that would, brings another question: who are they gonna eliminate? Are they gonna, take out JBL? Are they gonna take out Byron Saxton? Who's gonna be eliminated to give room for Mauro Ranallo?
Does Byron Saxton, doesn't he work on SmackDown too? Or am I wrong?
Or is
it Tom Phillips? Because if they already work on SmackDown, they don't need to work on both of them. I mean, like I think it would be fine if they didn't. If they, they worked on one or the other.
NXT, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, Tom Phillips does NXT now, but because Byron Saxton was doing NXT too, so I mean Byron Saxton would still have the SmackDown job, or they could move JBL to SmackDown. Either way.
Yeah. I don't know, but also, quick before we go, we did find out that The Godfather is going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, and that made me feel old as shit. I know we always joke about me being old, but that legitimately, I was like, whoa, because that was like my prime, and watching wrestling, in the Attitude Era when he was the Godfather.
Yeah, before your vision, started going. That's about right.
Yeah, before my taste buds started going, so I can't taste those fruity pebbles. Maybe that's why I hate John Cena so much. No, but I'm excited. That he's gonna go into. It feels like these guys. I mean, I know they're not young, but they feel young going. Like that old. I mean, Edge is in the Hall of Fame, and he doesn't feel like he's that old. It's kind of crazy, a little bit, but that'll pretty much be the end of this video. We just kind of wanted to talk about arguably the best Raw of the year.
I think they need to induct the Goodfather instead of the Godfather. I think that that's more PG for them. No.
And what they need to do is they need to induct Papa Shango. That's what they need. or Kama. That's it. All four of them. But I guess the Acolytes are gonna induct him, which is kind of cool. That'll be pretty cool to see the Acolytes kind of reunite again. But that's gonna be our review for tonight. We thought we were gonna do No Way Out, but somebody hasn't finished watching it, and Justin probably hasn't even watched it yet.
We are doing it tonight, actually. He called me and told me he was doing it. We're gonna do it tonight at 10 his time, I think.
All right, so 11 our time. All right. We will see you at 11 or 10 or 8 or 9, depending on where you are. We will see you on the flippity. Come on, say it. Come on. Say it.
Oh, no.
Flippity dippity. Oh, yeah.